Hello friends, welcome to our channel Cbse English, the topper's choice. In this video, we are going to discuss class 9th second poem from the book Beehive Wind. Here we go. At the beginning, we'll talk about the poet of this poem. Subramania Bharati is the poet of this poem. Subramania Bharati was born on 11th December 1882 and died on 11th September 1921. He was a Tamil writer, poet, journalist, Indian independence activist, social reformer, and polyglot. Popularly known as Mahakavi Bharati, he was a pioneer of modern Tamil poetry and is considered one of the greatest Tamil literary figures of all time. His numerous works included fiery songs kindling patriotism during the Indian independence movement. He fought for the emancipation of women against child marriage, stood for reforming Brahminism and religion. He was also in solidarity with Dalits and Muslims. Theme of this poem, Wind. The main theme of the poem Wind is problems in our lives are like wind. They will come to us all the time. We cannot stop them or escape them. We have to face them and bear the hardships. There are people who are weak and frail. They don't have goals in their life, nor willpower or confidence to face these problems. Hence, the problems ruin their lives. They fail miserably and live a life of hardships and troubles. On the other hand, those who are strong and have confidence and willpower face these problems with all their might and finally succeed, because problems make us strong and flourish in the world. Hence, we all should have strong willpower. Introduction to this poem. The poem Wind is written by Subramania Bharati in Tamil and translated in English by A.K. Ramanujan. A.K. Ramanujan is a Kannada and English poet, well known for his translation of classical and modern poetry. The poem is about wind, as its name suggests. The poet has described the power of the wind and says that it causes a lot of destruction. But in the end, the poet has suggested the ways in which we can become friends with the wind. The poet represented the destructive nature of the wind with the difficulties of life. It conveys a powerful message that when difficulties come in our life, the brave people face them with courage and overcome all the challenges. On the contrary, weak people get afraid and break down easily. So, it's important that we should make these destructive forces friends and constructively use them to make ourselves stronger. Summary of this poem. In this poem, the wind has been personified. The poet is talking to the wind and he tells it to come softly. Then he describes the destructive nature of the wind. He says that the wind blows so strongly that it breaks the shutters of the window and scatters the papers. It is so powerful that the books which were kept on the shelf have fallen. Then he says to the wind, Look at the destruction that is caused by you. You have thrown everyone down and disorganized everything. Owing to your force, the pages of the books have been torn down. You have brought the rain. Further, the poet says that the wind is very clever in making fun of those people who are weak. By this, the poet means that when strong wind blows, all the things which are fragile, weak, and feeble break easily. Initially, when the poet has introduced the wind, then he has compared its power with a small child. That's why he asked the wind to come softly. But later, the wind has become destructive like a youth, full of energy, violence, and destruction. Here, the poet says that the wind is so mighty that it is breaking everything that comes in his way. He says that the weak houses are falling, the doors are breaking down, the beam which was supporting the roof of the building is falling, and all the things made of wood material are falling. Further, he says that people are unable to stand properly due to the heavy wind and they are falling. All the living things which are weak are either breaking down or falling. The people are scared of the wind and their hearts are beating at a faster rate. The poet is addressing the wind as God. He has compared the people with grain and says that as we winnow the grain to separate it from the chaff, similarly, the wind god separates the strong people from the weak people. Due to heavy and strong wind, all the weak things fall and get destroyed. The poet goes on to say that the wind will not listen to us and do what we say. So, instead of instructing the wind, we should prepare ourselves. We should build strong homes and close the door tightly so that wind does not enter the home. We should make our body strong and our heart firm so that we can face these difficulties and overcome all the challenges. He says that by doing all these things, the wind will become friends with us. Here, the poet means that problems would come in our life. We should make ourselves strong enough to overcome them. Every hurdle in our life makes us stronger and helps us explore our inner strength. The poet elaborates that the wind blows all the things which are weak. Only those things which are strong remain and flourish to become stronger. The friendship of the wind is good, and we should praise his friendship every day like a god. Here, the poet conveys a strong message that we should not cry or consider ourselves weak when problems arise in our life. Instead, we should see them as an opportunity to explore our ability and strength to face them with courage. These problems make us mentally and physically strong, and through them, we learn to overcome the hardship of life. Now we'll discuss the literary devices used in this poem. Rhyming scheme. There is no rhyme scheme in the poem. The entire poem is written in free verse. Number 2, symbolism. Symbolism is a literary device that refers to the use of symbols in a literary work. Here in this poem, the wind is a symbol. It refers to the challenges in life. The poet uses wind as a symbol for the adversities in our life. Number 3, alliteration. Alliteration means the repetition of consonant sounds, especially at the beginning of the words. And here in this poem, alliteration has been used in strong fires roar and flourish. Here, first sound is repeated. Number 4. Repetition. It means the repeated use of a word or a phrase in a poem. In this poem, crumbling, this word is repeated many times to lay emphasis. Number 5. Anaphora. It means the repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of a series of clauses or sentences. And here, in this poem, don't, this word is repeated at the beginning of lines 2, 3 and 4. At the same time, you, this word is repeated at the beginning of lines 6, 7 and 8. Number 6. Personification. Personification is a figure of speech where non-living objects are described to seem like people. In this poem, wind has been personified. When the poet says, "You are," he is referring to wind as you. That means he is treating wind as a person. Now we'll discuss the main points of this poem. The poem is all about the destruction caused by the wind and the way one can make the wind friend. The poet requests the wind to come softly as it breaks the windows and the doors, throw the books and important papers, tears up the pages of the books and brings the rain. The actual fact is that the wind laughs at every weakling and destroys everything which is weaker. So, the poet suggests that the wind will never listen to our request, rather we shall make ourselves strong and then the wind will be our friend. We shall have to build strong homes, close the doors tightly and make our body strong with determined heart. To prove this, the poet gives an outstanding example that when there is weak fire, the wind blows it out, but if there is strong fire, the wind will never be able to harm it, rather it would help the fire to flourish. Finally, the poet says that the friendship of the wind is good, but it's only possible when we make ourselves strong. So dear friends, if you have liked this video, please click on like, subscribe the channel and click on the bell icon to get more videos like this. Thank you very much for watching.